There's a lot of people walking around us in our community who have self-hate issues. And a lot of times it comes from being overly religious or follow religion, turn the other cheek, pray for your enemy and things of that nature. I know y'all have all seen video of this brother, Pastor Manning. He says some of the most egregious things. And I know a lot of black people thought that, it gotta be a joke. There's no way this guy can actually be saying this about his own people. But yeah, he really does mean these things. And there's a lot of people out here in our community. This is why you get brothers and sisters willing to kill, steal from each other, sell drugs, lie to each other, coon them and fool for people outside the community. I mean, just look what's been going on in the media the last few days. You had the Jim Shoes of the Shackles. You have a certain group of black people praising it. You had black celebrities and so-called black professors and whatnot defending the word nigger and its use. You had the president and black celebrities in NWCP comparing what the gay community go through to what the black community. You have president signing an executive order basically giving amnesty to people who've come in this country illegally and lived off our dime. Now I know people are gonna say, "Oh, Harvey, you sound like those white people." No, I'm not trying to sound like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there are people who walk among us who always telling other brothers and sisters to stand down. And those people like the dysfunction because they can make profit and they can manipulate and get things off of it, and it's give them excuse for them to go out there act questionable. I don't know if y'all remember when the Boondocks came out, and everybody said no way in hell that Uncle Ruckus type can exist in real life, and a lot of us saying some of y'all haven't got out and been exposed. I've come across a lot of Uncle Ruckuses in my life. They're young, they're old, they're rich, they're poor, they're straight, they're gay, they light, they dark. I mean, we had them doing slavery. We have them all into the present. But when we point these things out, people get mad. I mean, here it is on YouTube. If you come across a channel that, say, for instance, has a black theme, and they talk about discrimination, and you don't like it, you have a right to go to another channel and do your own thing. But the people out here that put questionable content up don't want people like us putting our content up because people compare it to and say, which one is enlightening me a little bit more? Which one is making me think about my situation? And 9 out of 10, they'll pick a channel like myself. There's certain black YouTubers out here who are being attacked. And at one time, me and those YouTubers, and some of us, we communicate with each other. And we talk and say, you know what? It just can't be white people doing this. Because even at some time, white folk don't want to just stop, just slow down, or they wait their time. But we keep doing the same thing. We got brothers and sisters out here that make dummy accounts. We got multiple accounts up, and what they do is vote down videos and they false flag, which to me is a sickness. This is why when I see Uncle Ruckus, I used to laugh when I first saw it, but the older you get and the more you see it, it's not funny when you have people out there emulating, or a cartoon character, I should say, is so spot on when it comes down to how we carry ourselves. But what I notice people really fear is this. They fear the black man, the black woman raising their children or being productive and positive members. Like, I give you an example. If y'all ever talk to a brother and sister about Maury Povich, and you're going to get this reaction from people that are going to smile and say, I love Maury. But Maury is showing questionable images of our people. And people say, nobody's forced them to go on the air. No, that's true. Nobody is forced them to go on the air. But the thing is, nobody's also persuaded them not to go on the air. Maury got to the lowest common denominator. Maury got to the lowest common denominator. I mean, I see brothers and sisters come out on that show, and you get the sister who is loud, you get the brother who's loud, and they fighting each other, and everybody's looking at it and saying this is how the black community is, then you got impressionable minds or people who've never been exposed thinking that this is the norm. So they said, oh, that brother and sister on TV, I'm going to go on there. And we don't do anything to shame them. And then when those of us do talk about it, we get looked upon as we're the ones with the issues. Doesn't make any sense, does it? But see, a lot of times people out here are doing those things to excuse themselves when they decide they want to stay. They want. Damn, it's cold. Can I shake this cold? They do these things to give themselves excuse when they want to engage in inter-ethnic relationships. And that's all it is. People think they slick. I pick up on it. You know, give you an example. I had a couple of YouTubers come to my channel and say to me, well, Harvey, why are you always talking about racism? And I would say, well, racism is a part of the black experience, good or bad. And I said, I think we do a disservice by not talking about our issues in the community, because what we do is pass them off to other succeeding generations. And it was like, oh, wow, well, I would talk about something else. I'm like, well, excuse me, why would you tell me to talk about something else when you got channels out here dedicated to making us look real bad, making us look as if that we don't have any common sense? Well, let them people be. Wait a minute. You're telling me to stop talking about what I'm talking about, but you telling me to let those people be. First of all, I'm not going to their channels. I'm not talking about them directly, but I'm talking about a mindset that runs rampant in this country, and unfortunately it has had disastrous effects for our community. And I think a lot of people out here don't want to admit that, because deep down they say, man, I'm doing that. Like I said in one of my previous videos, it's like when you're a kid, when you're told about the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, your parents go buy you these Easter baskets to get your stocking for Christmas and say, hey, go put some milk and cookies out for Santa Claus. And you get up Christmas morning, milk and cookies are gone or been ate or whatever, and then you like, Santa Claus came, and they say, yeah, we talked to him. Yeah, I thought I saw him, Daddy. Yeah, I thought I saw him, Mama. And your parents looking at you, knowing deep down you ain't see shit. But they didn't told you this lie. But some of us, we discovered Christmas or Santa Claus wasn't real on our own, and then you feel like a fool. And that's why I think a lot of people feel like, they go through life being taught or they misheard or misunderstood the wrong thing. And then as they get older, they hold on to that. And then you got people out there putting a mirror up to things. They can't take it. So I don't understand, why are we our own worst enemy? There are a lot of things that are happening around us. Like I've asked brothers and sisters, do y'all follow politics? Or do you? I don't understand it. That don't bother me. They don't got nothing to do with me when it does. I say, do you guys watch the news? Oh, it's too depressing. Life is depressing at times. But you need to know what's going on around you, so you have some sense of what the world is doing, what the world is doing, how to interact with people. I say, do you guys watch television shows? Excuse me. I said, do you guys watch television shows other than black TV shows? Oh, that's white. I said, a lot of the things that our white counterparts do have come from us. Then I say, do y'all get outside your community? Do you pick up different books? Do you travel? And some of my brothers and sisters always got an excuse. Well, I don't do this because of that. And I'm saying to myself, I say, you guys have allowed another group of people to put you into a category, made you a statistic. We refer to ourselves as a minority when we're not. We refer to ourselves as niggas and bitches or niggers when we're not. We do the most gaudy things. We put up images that it just is sad. Here it is. I love my people. I love people in general. But when you got your own people joining in, talking to racists or talking to people that are not black, and then they going around spreading malicious rumors, not just out here on YouTube, but just in general, we got issues. Anytime another black person can take a gun to another black person for shits and giggles, that tell you our community has been compromised. And when people like myself point it out, we get attacked because nobody want to be called Uncle Ruckus. They don't want to be called a Sambo, a handkerchief head, or a coon. They don't want to. They don't want that. Those words hurt more because people know what exactly what they mean. This is why I say the word nigger may never leave our vocabulary, because we've interpreted that word so well, and then we've used it just as good, or probably, and well, I guess good. Well, yeah, I guess you can't say good. We've used it better than the slave master and their descendants. Here it is. There are people actually putting videos up saying how much they hate us. And our brothers and sisters don't go to their channel trolling. I've looked to see if the people names they're harassing their fellow black YouTubers, are they at these other sites? They're not. Because they like they're afraid. I mean, how many times have we seen videos where white girls or Asian or Latin girls get out here and say they hate black women, call black women all out their names? I don't see sisters going there hitting those channels. When you got white men say all kind of hateful things about black men, I don't see them going to hit those channels. But we'll stay right in our own little group and just attack each other for petty shit. I was watching a video. I can't remember what it was. No, it wasn't a video. I was having a Skype conversation with brother Talib, and me, him, and Gia Ireland. We was all talking, and some other YouTubers was that we've all communicated through Skype was saying, and he was saying every month is some new controversy among the black YouTubers. He said, and me and him was talking. I was like, if you don't agree with the subject matter, you just bypass it. I mean, I don't agree with the Klan. I know what the Klan is about. I don't need to go to their channel. I don't need to get in the word with them. That's what they want you to do. So they can use what you say as recruiting to say, this is what they say about white people. Come on, join us. Like when I heard the media pushing this whole race war thing, those were people in the media. There were people in these militias, because they want excuse to go out there and do harm to us. And these very same people that are out here attacking other black YouTubers, and they're black, all they doing is doing the work for the Klan, the neo-Nazis, those politicians right or left or in between, or these major corporations. I mean, what would it take for our people to wake up? I mean, seriously. I mean, when I look at the Boondocks, I say, every time I see Uncle, I said, there are men and women out here that just do certain things that just baffle the hell out of me. And a lot of people, and I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna keep referring to the Boondocks because a lot of people think that's is exaggerations, but no. Y'all remember the episode when the characters that looked like Red Fox, Luana Page, and Jimmy J.J. Walker, and a lot of people thought that show was just a joke. No, what those three characters represent, Black America, or that portion of Black America who would do and justify anything just to get ahead or just to see somebody in pain. And I guess people don't get that deep, because if you watch some of these shows, especially some of these black shows that don't get a large following, or you watch some of these programs on cable or on DVD where they talk about certain issues, don't get a large following, it goes over a lot of people's head. Like, I give you an example. When Red Tails came out, people in the black community, male and female, got mad at this movie, and they was mad at the wrong people. I never forget when I did one of the videos saying it was a good movie, and people said, well, this movie wasn't as good as the Tuskegee Airmen. There was different approaches to these movies. They both were good in their own right. And I said, yo, this is the first movie that actually showed black men being the hero. In Tuskegee Airmen, they showed certain things. But I'm talking about actually show us, the technology's caught up where you can actually show us doing the things that they did. And so some brothers and sisters got mad because George Lucas made it, Mr. Star Wars. I'm like, how many white people in Hollywood is making product that's aimed at us, that's not showing us cooning and buffooning. I mean, here it is. This movie, we wasn't cooning and buffooning in this movie. We was actually talking to each other. Black men actually got along in this movie. But I guess we've been so conditioned to see brothers on screen attacking each other, shooting each other. Then you had some writer out there, and I'm gonna tell you how manipulated we've been. It was a story that I read about maybe 10, maybe 12 years ago in a magazine that said a lot of these writers create stories to cause friction. And in the last 5 or 6 years ago, it's been this major polarization in the media, and you see a lot of people who have right wing tendencies or extreme tendencies seem to put stories out and distort truth, and we see it all the time. And what they do is they get a writer, get a subject, like people do out here on YouTube, different sites. What they do is they know in the black community, we got exposed nerve, and that nerve is relationships. And a lot of our people don't realize that the reason our relationships are in disarray is because of outside forces. So somebody leaked the storyline, or what they thought was the storyline of the movie Red Tails. And they said, in the movie, it's a white love interest. And I'm sitting there saying, wait a minute. And it's supposed to be some black sister. I wish I remember the website. It was talking about it. And you go watch the movie, it's not what you think it is. I mean, these two fell in love, but if anybody knows about military or about war or about when people are deployed, these things tend to happen. And I'm sitting there reading a lot of comments coming from black women out here, or at least they said they're black women. Now, some sisters out here took it for what it was. That's what happened. Some sisters said that's a plot device to get people in the seats. And some women didn't think anything of it. But there was another group that like, oh my gosh, see what they doing? They promote interracial relationships when there's tons of movies and TV shows where black women are kissing on other men. But nobody says a word because we've been conditioned for that to be the norm. And so it was for about a good 2, maybe 3 weeks. It was a bunch of videos out here with people bashing the movie. Then you had black men, some, not a lot, some that was out here doing the very same thing. And I'm sitting there saying, yo, y'all don't realize we being manipulated. If you don't like the movie, you don't like the movie. You like the movie, you like the movie. And I'm sitting there saying people get a big laugh out of what we do and what we say. Then I remember talking about when I was in working in the fast food industry as a management. We went to Kentucky, went to KFC corporate office, and they have a room where they taste test or try new products that y'all would never see, may never see. And what they do is they watch people patterns. They have people that you think are customers go in and just observe people, the way they eat, they dress, everything. That's why if you notice if you go into certain restaurants, they got music playing to desensitize you. I mean, it's a whole way they sit back and watch. And that's what's going on in the black community. People watch us. This is why people outside the community make a run for our community to make money. I mean, think about it. Yeah, people can barely speak English, come in our community and make their money, make their living, and keep it among their people. We've all seen people come in, open up a store. They there maybe 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years. Some have gone 3 years. Then they leave, and then there's another group that come in. It's usually the same group. And then I notice some now within the black community. You might get somebody who's a Hindu that may come in, open up a mom and pop store, bring all that shit in there that we don't need in our community. And then after they get what they get out, they turn around and sell it to a so-called Arab. And you sitting there scratching your head. You're like, what the fuck is this? But yet, when you come in a store, they already treat you like you're a thief. They got, because this convenience store that used to be White Hen in the Chicago area, and 7-Eleven bought them out. But in the areas where White Hen was still big, and 7-Eleven didn't want to go in because a lot of times they had stores right on top of each other, but they wanted to put them out of business. So the stores closed up, and eventually, like I said, somebody foreign will come in. And a lot of these municipalities, especially in the suburban areas, depending on what's going on, they don't want to turn their tax revenue. So you start noticing things. You go into the store, they're selling T-shirts. They're selling socks. They're selling gym shoes. They're selling things that you would never normally see at a convenience store. Then you got the gas station. You're sitting there like, they don't do this in any other community but our community. And when we point this out, you actually got brothers and sisters getting mad at you because they said, well, this is convenient for me. Like, I think the most tacky thing for a man to do is to wake up. He sleeps all day. He wakes up, he goes to the corner store. Instead of just going to the laundromat or buying clothes, or you have a change of clothes, they walk in looking like a bum, pants hanging down, shorts hanging down, walking around flip-flops and socks on, and they go around and say, I'm gonna go buy me a couple of T-shirts, and they would change their old shirt, throw it in the garbage, out in the outside, or throw it down. I've seen this happen. This is not where I live, but I've seen this when I've gone into the city and stuff. And they would take the dirty shirt and they would throw it down or put it in the garbage. And they would put the clean shirt on and stand in front of the store, drinking, not doing shit. But then they'd be the first ones to lash out and blame somebody. And then you sit there saying, wait a minute, you see what can happen if you don't apply yourself. But then you get mad at those brothers and sisters like myself who are out here doing right by not just the community, but themselves. And those brothers and sisters resent that. Like, I see these sisters out here, beautiful sisters out here. And it's not some beautiful sisters out here going to get these fucking lace wigs and these multicolored wigs, big ass earrings, clothes 4-5 sizes too small. And they think that's cute. Those are the brothers and sisters that have become the voice in the face of our community. Those are your Uncle Ruckuses. Those are your Jason Lee Petersons. They sit back and they talk about the man, but yet they do the work of the man. And you got some are just defenders of anybody other than us. We put our own people down. We justify the hatred we have for each other because somebody did something to you, or because you bought into what you saw on television, or bought into what one of those misinformed or hateful or spiteful teachers had told you or didn't tell you. I don't understand why we're fighting each other. We got too many enemies out there, and I guess people figure, well, you're not getting much of a fight for certain black people, so I'm gonna keep doing what I do and saying what I say. If you don't like a person, why would you constantly try to interact with that person? Why would you constantly try to get in that person's orbit? I don't understand it. If it's somebody who don't like me for nothing, I don't try to ingratiate myself with them. I don't go out of my way to try to prove anything to them. I don't sit around waiting for them to say and do things to me and then try to rationalize with them. I keep moving. But some of us in our community, we love confrontation. We can't take the fact that some people within our own community don't want to have anything to do with us. I mean, I personally don't give a damn if somebody don't want to be around me. That's probably better off for me. But when you got people out here willing to destroy another person's reputation, when you got people out here willing to kill, or you got people out here willing to steal from their own, it says something about you. I mean, we sit back and we get a laugh out of this, or we get dismissive of it, but there are a lot of Uncle Ruckuses in our community. In a show like the Boondocks, they put a mirror up to our people, and our people, they laughing at it, but they don't realize there's a point to be made. Go back and watch all 3 seasons and really watch them and understand there's a greater point being made. There's a moral to the story. Just because it's done in animated form doesn't mean that these things don't happen. I remember the first episode of Boondocks where they was talking about the R. Kelly trial. And Huey was like the voice, like, yo, people, this guy did this. You guys are doing that. But a lot of it went over a lot of people's heads. As a matter of fact, when the Boondocks first came out, there were black people who were pissed off and they were mad. They didn't get that this was satire. They didn't get that it was a deeper message to it. Just like out here on YouTube, there are brothers and sisters don't get that there are people out here that really give a damn about the community. You know, and you got people out there talking about, oh, we're conscious. I and the people that I've communicated with never went around calling ourselves conscious. We never be saying all these different things. We just giving our opinion about what we see. And it's painful to watch our people run around like this. It's painful to see our people willing to cut another brother and sister's neck just to gain favor with a certain group of people. I've watched people like that in grammar school, high school, in work, in my time in the military, and those usually be the first ones to get screwed over at some point. And guess what? They run right back to us and like, man, I can't believe they did this to me. I did this, and I'm like, nah, you did it, all right. We warned you. Every day we get bombarded with hatred. And then you would think our people would say, you know what? I'm not going to go out there and disrespect another brother. That brother or sister didn't do anything to me. I'm not going to go out there and put my hands on them or try to stop them from voicing their opinion. This is why I say a lot of black people don't want to hear about what happened during the civil rights movement, because guess what? A lot of y'all be hurt to know that there were a lot of black people who didn't march. A lot of black people didn't want Martin Luther King or Malcolm or the rest of them to say anything. A lot of black people that helped set up these different organizations. This is why you know they don't talk about the movement. Notice it was, I don't know, I forget the guy's name. This photographer, they said, that was working with the FBI. He would take pictures, sit up under the civil rights leaders or the people in the marches, and he would feed information back to the FBI. And when I was telling my father that, he said it makes sense, because how in the hell did they get bugs in? I mean, you got a bunch of white guys at that time in the FBI, and they had like a few blacks. So they hired people who were maids and janitors, teachers, churchgoers, and they did those things. They trained them. But a lot of y'all dismiss it because like, nah, another brother and sister wouldn't do that to me. But just look what's going on here on YouTube. Here it is. A lot of times the videos, I get sent, people send me links. And that's why I ask people now, I mean, if they know me, the ones who do send me, I say, can you send me the title? Because when you type in the link, you might go to a video, something you don't want to see or don't want in your playlist. And that's how I came across the video with that white woman and that black woman, because somebody sent me the link. And that's why I said for now, I want people to start sending me titles, because, you know, when you come across these things, people say, "Oh yeah, he's watching these videos. He's two-faced. He's a hypocrite." I truly don't watch those booty shaking videos. I've seen what somebody sent me, or out of curiosity, I said, "Let me see how bad this stuff really is out here on YouTube." And you got people out here saying that I'm going around leaving comments on those videos. As I said before, if you know me, you know how I get down. You know, they got people out here saying that I made channels, I'm sending hate messages, and I'm like, I'm not doing these things. But some people have to justify their hatred for themselves and for others by doing this. Now, we can't combat white racism. We can't, when we don't learn how, we haven't learned how to combat black self-hatred. So if you don't like a person's video or a person's political beliefs or a person's look or a person's vehicle, keep stepping. Nobody's forcing you to watch these videos or listen to their opinion. But when you keep ingratiating yourself on people, or you keep going out of your way to cause confrontation, or you willing to go out there and talk about your people with another group of people, there's something wrong with you. Vote up, vote down, leave your comments.